Hey, it's Ariana from the Attorney Attraction team. You just booked a call with one of our advisors, and before you get on that call, I want to make sure you get everything you can out of it. Most attorneys get on calls like this completely unprepared and walk away confused about whether this was right for them. This video is going to make sure that doesn't happen to you. I'm going to show you exactly who we are, what we've built, why this works, and what to expect on the call. Give it your full attention because the call you're about to have could genuinely change the direction of your career and practice. Let's get into it. Here's what nobody says out loud about building a successful legal practice. Your phone never really turns off. Your income stops the moment you stop. And somewhere in the back of your mind, probably for years now, you've been thinking about building something beyond billable hours. You just haven't figured out how to actually do it yet. That's not a personal failure, that's the model. According to Clio's Legal Trends report, the average attorney spends less than 3 hours a day on actual billable work. The rest is admin, chasing leads, managing overhead, and trying to run a business nobody trained you to run. So you're not just capped by the hours in a day, you're capped by the fraction of those hours you can actually bill. No matter how good you get, no matter how premium your rates are, your income is fundamentally tied to your time. And what you're charging for is your hours, not just your expertise, not your judgment, not the years of pattern recognition you've built that lets you see around corners most attorneys can't, just your hours. And I think on some level you already know this. That's why you booked the call. I've sat across from hundreds of attorneys who built incredible careers and still felt like something was missing. Not because they failed, because nobody ever showed them there was another way. That's exactly why we built this. Now, before we go any further, let me be direct about who this is for and who it isn't. This is not for you if you want results without effort. We're going to build something real here, and real things require real commitment. If that's not what you're looking for right now, that's okay, but this call won't be the right fit. This is not for you if you're still on the fence about whether you want something beyond your practice. If you haven't decided that yet, decide that first. But if you're an attorney who has spent years building genuine expertise, who knows that what you've learned is valuable, and who is finally ready to stop giving that knowledge away for free and start building something that works for you beyond the billable hour, then you're exactly who we built this for. And everything I'm going to show you is going to make a lot of sense. Keep watching. Now, here's what the traditional advice for building an advisory practice looks like. Build your LinkedIn following, post 3 times a week, go to bar association events, offer free consultations, ask for referrals, be patient. Here's what that actually produces. Inconsistent conversations with attorneys who weren't serious, free consultations that go nowhere, a networking schedule that eats your weekends, and after 12 months of real effort, advisory income that's nowhere near what you hoped for. Not because you're not smart enough, not because the market isn't there, because the model is wrong. Posting and hoping is not a business model. Networking and referrals is not a business model. A real business model has one thing at its core: a predictable, repeatable system for attracting qualified buyers on demand. Everything else is noise. So why listen to us? Over the last 3 years, we've worked with close to 400 attorneys who wanted to build something beyond their practice. Solo practitioners, firm partners, attorneys who had never coached a day in their life. We've processed over 1,000 transactions through our programs. We've spent over $1.1 million on a single ad campaign targeting attorneys specifically, which means our pixel data, our targeting, our creative is all conditioned and trained for this exact market. You cannot replicate that starting from scratch. When you work with us, you're plugged into infrastructure that took years and millions of dollars to build. And here's the most important thing. We do what we teach. The ad you clicked was a meta ad. The video you watched was a VSL. The application you filled out filtered you into a qualified conversation. You went through our exact funnel to get here. That's not a coincidence. That's proof of concept. And that's exactly what we're going to build for you. Every attorney who successfully builds a high-ticket advisory practice does 3 things in this order without skipping. Step 1, your 24/7 digital attractor. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning with a calendar notification. An attorney in another state watched your video at 11 p.m., filled out your application, and booked a call. You didn't chase them, you didn't pitch them, you didn't even know they existed until they raised their hand. That's what happens when you have one short, powerful video that teaches something genuinely valuable to the attorneys you want to attract. Not a pitch, a lesson. Something that makes them say, this person actually knows what they're talking about. I need to talk to them. It runs around the clock. It speaks for you while you sleep, and it does the qualifying before you ever pick up the phone. Step 2, an offer that commands premium fees. Most attorneys who try to build advisory practices position themselves too broadly. I help attorneys grow their firms. That sounds like everyone else, and it prices like everyone else too. What changes is a specific, structured, outcome-focused offer built around your exact expertise, one that makes the attorney on the other end feel like they'd be crazy not to invest in you. And here's what most people get wrong about premium pricing. Higher prices don't just make you more money, they filter your clients. When an attorney invests $7,000 to work with you, they show up, they implement, they get results, and they send others exactly like them. The price isn't the barrier, the price is the filter. Step 3. Paid ads that put you in front of the right attorneys immediately. Organic content takes 12 to 24 months to build real momentum. Paid ads can put your video in front of your ideal attorneys within 72 hours of launching. And there are over 1.3 million licensed attorneys in the United States alone. Every single one of them, regardless of their practice area, firm size, or location, is a potential buyer. The market is not the problem. Reaching it efficiently is. Because we've spent over $1.1 million targeting attorneys on these platforms, we know exactly which attorneys click, watch, book, and buy. You're not guessing, you're plugging into data that took years to build. Week 1, we get on a deep dive call and pull everything out of you: your story, your expertise, your results, what makes you different. Most attorneys come into this call thinking they don't have enough to work with. They leave it realizing they've been sitting on a gold mine they never knew how to package. Weeks 2 and 3, we build everything. And when I say we, I mean us, not you. We write your VSL script word for word, we write your ad scripts, we build your landing page, your application, your booking system, your email and SMS automations, your retargeting pixels, all the tech, all the copy, all of it. Your only job is to record the videos. We hand you the script, we give you the direction, and we make it as simple as humanly possible. By the end of week 3, you go from having an idea to owning a complete 24/7 system that speaks for you, filters tire kickers, and pre-sells serious attorneys on your expertise before you ever pick up the phone. Week 4, we turn on the ads, and then something shifts. Your phone starts showing you notifications that have nothing to do with client fires or billing disputes. Attorneys booking onto your calendar, attorneys who already watched your video, filled out your application, and told you exactly who they are and what they want before you ever speak to them. Months 2 through 4, this is where we scale what's working and cut what isn't. We're on Slack with you every single day, not a support ticket, not a Facebook group, a real person who knows your business, knows your numbers, and is genuinely invested in what happens next. By week 16, you have a predictable system that brings qualified attorneys to you every single week. Not by luck, not by hustle, by design. Before you get on this call, I want you to set your expectations clearly. This is not a pressure call. Nobody is going to chase you, guilt you, or push you into something that isn't right for you. What it is a real, honest conversation about whether what we've built makes sense for your specific situation, your practice area, your background, your goals. If it's a fit, we'll show you exactly how the system works and what building it looks like for you specifically. If it's not, we'll tell you that too, and we'll point you in the right direction regardless. Come with your questions, come with your skepticism. That's exactly what this call is for. Before you get off this video, I want you to do one thing. Grab a pen and write down 3 numbers. First, how many billable hours you're working with per week right now. Second, what one additional client per month would mean for your annual income. Third, what your practice would look like if 20% of your revenue came from advisory work that didn't require you to bill a single extra hour. Bring those numbers to the call, not because we're going to quiz you on them, but because the attorneys who know their numbers going into this conversation walk out with a completely different level of clarity than those who don't. That clarity is the whole point. If you've written those numbers down, you're already more prepared than 90% of attorneys who get on calls like this. That's not an accident. That's who you are. Now let me tell you exactly what you're walking into. On this call, you're going to walk away with 3 things regardless of whether we work with you or not. Clarity on exactly what your advisory offer could look like based on your specific expertise and practice area. A realistic picture of what it would take to get it live and generating revenue, and an honest assessment of whether this model makes sense for where you are right now. That's what the call is. That's what you're walking into. Now, one final thought before we talk. 3 years from now, you're going to be somewhere. The question is just where. Version 1, still practicing, still billing hours, still capped at the same ceiling, still trading time for money. The ABA has found that roughly 1 in 3 attorneys said they wouldn't choose law again if given the chance. Not because they hate the work, but because the model never gave them what they were promised. The attorneys out there right now struggling with the exact problems you've already solved, they found someone else to learn from. Not because you weren't good enough, because you never built the system that would have put you in front of them. That's the path most attorneys stay on. But the fact that you're still watching this tells me you're not most attorneys. There's another version. 3 years from now, you've got a VSL running 24/7, attorneys booking onto your calendar every single week, a high-ticket advisory practice generating $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month on top of whatever you're still doing in your practice. Real freedom, the one where you're in income doesn't stop when you stop. And you built it in 16 weeks. Both of those futures are available to you right now. The call you're about to have will determine which one you actually get. So come ready, come honest, bring your questions, because the only thing worse than making the wrong decision is making no decision at all and watching 3 more years go by exactly like the last 3. I'll see you on the call.